How you doing? It's Kaze. It's Coze. If you don't know how to spell, that's me. That's me. So, this one will be more. This one will be a little interesting. It will be a little more interesting. Hold up, hold up. Go. Yeah. So this one will be a little more interesting. Wait. There we go. So this one will be a little more interesting. Um, I know I told you the other day about how dude was rude. I told you about Christmas Eve how dude was rude through the milk. I'm pretty sure before that I told you about how or the lady was rude through the milk. And I told you the time before that it was New Year's Eve when or around that weekend when dude literally put his bike, it was in the way. It was completely in the way. Like he had nowhere else to park. I told you about that. Um, First one I told you was about how what was it? First one I told you about how the lady was too lazy to put her cart like and it gave me attitude and I gave it back in the most polite way to do it. So this time it's more of this time it is interesting story that I was told. It's not anything rude, it's not anything like that, but so this old man I was talking to, he basically he had a similar job to what I had, and I forget exactly where it was, but it was something similar to Ralph's. And they have the carts there too. They had the carts there too. I forget exactly if it was like, but I think it was up north, and he found a bag, or a wallet of some sort. No, it was a bag. It was a bag. I'm trying to get my story straight. It was a bag that he found with $10,000 in it. So what he did was, because he was in a rich area, he had people that would, we had some people that may drop like a large lump sum of money like in the parking lots. And so he wasn't sure who it belonged to, so he returned it to the store, or he returned it. And you know being a nice person, like if you have that much money, if you lose that much money, that's gonna make a huge difference. So he said, let me just return it. Maybe they'll find it, go back to the store, maybe they'll find it, or maybe someone else will take it, which would be unfortunate at that case. But here's the funny part. It happened again, maybe a week later. So in his mind, He was telling me he was thinking that there's something funny going on. There's something strange going on. So he ended up just taking the money for himself because he's like, this might just keep on happening. Or it may be a setup, or they just may not care about the money at all. They have enough money to just throw away $10,000 like that, you know. So he decided to use that, and you know he ended up you know going elsewhere, and he ended up getting with a um, lady that was wealthy. She didn't need. There was a certain amount of money that she had. I forget it's part of the story, but there was a certain amount of money that she had. She didn't need the money. She was so well off. She didn't need the money. She didn't need, like, I think it was like $50,000 or something like that she could just throw away. So she didn't need the money. You know, and she wasn't the lady that was dropping that $20,000. You know, so he took that 10,000 and then the other 10,000, and he kept it for himself because like it was gonna keep on happening, and for some reason they didn't need it as much, and so he almost married the lady. He almost married the lady. He said, and you know that she had connections with a lot of high people, with certain high people, and he was like, I could have been in that. I could have had those connections myself with them, but he said it just didn't work out. And so he was like, you never know what you're gonna find, you know. And they were living in, the lady was living in or not living, but she had a house in Calabasas. And so you know how it is in Calabasas. Like, I don't think people really live there. They have homes there where they may stay for a little bit, but they don't actually live there. It's just homes and mountains. You know, pretty much just homes on top of mountains, and then you got the water, pretty much. So, and that it's a nice place to vacation. And so he said that she would vacation there, or not, well, because she had a home there, of course she would vacation there, but that it was, you know, very involved, and they had a good time together, but it just didn't work out. So part of the experience of what he was telling me is, you know, you never know what's gonna happen to you when you get, you know, as you grow up and as you mature of age. You know, you have interesting experiences when you're young, learn, develop, grow as you get older. You know, and it is a lot harder to learn and experience these things when you're older. You know, because it's not that often, unless you've worked your ass off for years, to be a millionaire at 60, 70. See, the funny thing about that is I don't want to be, like, yes, I do want to be a millionaire, but not by the time I'm 60, 70. I don't want it to take that long, you know, because I expect more of myself than that, and there's so much I want to accomplish, and I want to be able to get that a lot sooner rather than later, you know. So that is a part of my mission. And his story, you know, inspired me, even though the experience he had was off of luck and off of circumstance. You know, it just so happened to happen like that. Sometimes that's all it takes to change your life around. You get in the right place at the right time, you know, and you get exposed to so many different things because of happenstance and circumstance. You know, so it's not always about just working hard. You gotta have, you gotta develop connections, and you have to be in the right place at the right time. You know, so that really inspired me. It really inspired me a lot. You know, I have a. I'm gonna have a story on Wednesday about this guy I met who was having some trouble. He was having some trouble that I will get into detail with on Wednesday. Alright. Peace. I don't know why I did that.